AlgoBox clips.
Markets move in accumulation distribution. Two phases. Some people might throw in classics of manipulation. They say in manipulation, but this doesn't always occur. They're just saying like oftentimes this can occur, but these comes into strategies. Manipulation is actually, funny enough, typically a trap. Okay, if you see a trap, even better, you can ride the other side. But in general, all you need to know is accumulation distribution. So how do these move? So accumulation looks like oftentimes sideways conditions. Then distribution is, some move up or some move down. So this is distribution. We're distributing, moving up. And accumulation means we are accumulating in a zone. So the price inside of here looks kind of back and forth, maybe kind of some of this or this, and then we start to move out and we start to go up. And what we're always, I don't say always, but some of our best plays are we want to ride the distribution most of the time. At the same time, you can make plenty inside of a distribution in accumulation, depending on how big the zone is. And depends on today we saw this was happening on the 89 range. Well, then this is quite large, right? So from top to bottom right here, this could be 300, 500 ticks each, even on a few bars up and down in the golden ropes. But what if this is different? What if it's like on a 3 algo bar? Well, then this is, pretty tight in here, but can you make money inside of accumulation zone? Yes, it's how you plan your trade. I do think that king timing would be something that you would want to do. Oftentimes king timing is what helps you to land right here. Okay, because oftentimes over here you're going to have small, medium, large, king, and you get some kind of play that happens right here. That is what we're trying to do typically, is find the next distribution leg. That's what SMLK is designed to do, is to help you find the next distribution, because oftentimes this is more ticks, right? More ticks in that in general, because the size of this is larger than this in the accumulation zone. However, there's only one of these. What if you did 5 of these back to back? If I'm entering in hypothetically down here, let's say that you're using a super bands or Bollinger Bands scenario, and this is one of the things that CAD likes to do. She's a zone player. So here's trade 1, here's 2, here's 3, here's 4, and then maybe up here even 5, and maybe even 6. So is 6 times this better than or equal to waiting for one of these? You see where I'm going with this? Like, you can make money in both. You simply have to know where you are, identify where you are in it, and use the proper tool at the right time. Now, he said, how do you draw accumulation zones? Pivots and POCs. So let's talk about some nomenclature here. Let's do little dashes here. So what is a POC? This is a Mike Schwartz special right here. Talk to Mike Schwartz. He knows most about this. He's done a lot. I think he's done full trainings around POCs as point of control, and basically a volume node. Like I kind of just keep things simple. I just, you'll hear me refer to them as volume nodes. I'm like, oh, see a node here, a volume node. And this is using your volume profiler, and marking those. Oftentimes I'm using those for targets more so than entries, and that is just, there's volume there. It's going to be volume there, but most of the time when you are doing these, and those are the trickier ones, so we'll kind of start with those because I think the others are relatively easy. So we're looking for pivots, and mostly sideways. It can be at an angle, a slight, but in general, when you're going to draw an accumulation zone, the best ones, like a lot of people are trying to fight these. They're like, well, is this an accumulation zone? I put it like this. If you have to ask, it's not. And this will probably apply to you on anything. How many times do I hear something like, Vinny, is this a double cross? Bro, if you have to ask, guess what? It's probably not. Now, there are occasions where it is, but there are rules around that. If you paid attention to a double cross rule set, for instance, 2 crosses that are within 10 to 15 bars of one another still can count, right? But if they're far enough apart that you have to ask in general, right, just go, it's not, don't force it, right? Again, maybe put another rule for yourself is, don't force it. If it's not there, it's not there. And you have to ask, it's not. Let's look at one. So we get some action like this. This should be fairly easy to draw the accumulation zone. So with the pivot, hopefully you guys already know this stuff, but I know sometimes we get some absolute brand new people in here. So pivots are where price turns, turning points. like this. So now it's so where would I draw these? You want to cover the majority. Remember, this is horseshoes and hand grenades. This is not, we're not trying to get 100% accuracy on things. I'm going to draw a line here. Oh, but Vinny, there's some outside of it. Yes. Vinny, what about this one? It's outside of it. Yes. But I want to catch the majority of the meat of this thing. So I might draw a line right across here and like, oh, what about this one, Vinny? Why don't you draw it down here? Again, same thing. Because what we want to see is, I'm going to draw that accumulation zone, and I want to see if we get any setups around the top or the bottom. I don't want to enter in the middle. You've heard me say before, don't fiddle in the middle. Okay, just leave the middle stuff alone. You draw your accumulation zone with your, I use the region tool. I've showed you guys how to do that in another video, but use your region tool, draw the area, and oftentimes my region tool will color this area. Okay, give it a little bit of color just because I like it. I like to stand out on there. And my eye kind of zooms into the space now. So now I've got plays that I want to play inside, and I've got plays that I want to play outside. One of our favorites is taking a double cross that shows up around the edge of one of these. This shows up around here. First thing I want to do is reverse this and take target 1 in the middle of the zone. Okay, this is that thing I told you guys about before with double cross, and it's going to be a DCR. Double cross reversal. First thing I'm going to do is reverse it in. Where's my stop? Same play every time. Our stops are simple. Stops go at the bottom or the top of the cross. We've got 3, well, technically 4 stop types now. So box, dot, cross, and triangle. Now that we have divergence, if you're going to enter in on a divergence plane, you're going to get in on it for divergence. Then the stop will go back behind the triangle of the divergence because that is the drawing that we have. So simple, stop goes at the bottom of the crosses. We're going long. Target 1 is right here. And let's see if I can do this in blue. It's going to let me target 1 in the middle of the zone, and you can kind of just eyeball the middle of the zone. Doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, but I want to get that target 1 right there in the middle of the zone. It's really all I'm trying to get. I'm not trying to go, you know, and yes, you could go, well, I could do target 2 out here, but I want a 10 tick, usually on the lowest time frame, depends. Okay, that just is estimating. Again, if you're in a giant zone, obviously it's not going to be, you know, 10 ticks. You know what I'm saying. I'm picturing this being on the lowest time frame scenario. I want T1 at 10, 15 ticks maybe, and then my final target here, I just want to target the middle of the zone. I'm not trying to crush it. I'm not trying to hit a home run every time off one of these, but I see one of these, boom. I mean, it's kind of a, I don't want to say freebie because nothing's free, right? You know my point. I feel like it's an easy, it's a breathless play. I was like, oh yeah, okay, gonna get long. Gonna take some ticks here, no problem. Or I stop out right here. I'm not sweating this either, right? Your stop is right here, no problem. That's an accumulation zone scenario. We've got if you're playing the bands, you know, CAD plays these, you know, left and right. She plays in on one side, plays out on the other side. She usually combines it with any other thing, Bollinger Band touch plus one other item. Again, net trade nothing alone. I don't know if she trades all of them. With something else. I have seen what appears from her trades that she is trading sometimes exclusively that entry, but at the same time, if she's including a trend line, is that another one? So you could, it's like, okay, you can see the zone here and it's a Bollinger Band touch and she might get short there without anything else. No cross, no dot, no nothing. That's fine. I usually tell you guys combine them with something, but experience will start to help you to override things in the future. Pretty easy. Enigma. If I get an Enigma right here, what am I going to do? Okay. If I get an Enigma right here, you know, gonna go short. Same thing. Stop above. Target down inside. I think that the middle of a zone is a great target for things, and an Enigma is going to give you a bigger target, oftentimes going to be 20 plus ticks. So this one is usually a safe ride. I won't say safe, nothing should be safe, but you know what I'm saying. My estimate is I'm going to be targeting the middle. I'm not even going to fiddle with a T1 scenario. I'm going to target all the way down to the middle of the zone if I am getting an Enigma on the edge of one of these accumulation zones. Okay, so what happens when it starts to break out of this? First, I hope I'm answering his question. He asked, how do you draw it? Pivots, and now the volume profile. So the volume profile and the POCs, that's going to be the volume that you see over here on the left-hand side of the chart. And they don't, you know, we'll show this here in a minute if you don't know what we're talking about, but you should kind of know like what volume profile looks like. So this is volume over here. So what's a POC? Let's show some of the POCs right here. So you look for the biggest ones in your area. So this is one right here. This is one right here. This is one right here. That's little tiny. You might label this one, but really you want the biggest ones around your area. Okay, so you kind of visually think, here's one over here, you got one right here, you got one out here. Now you want to see if some of these play setups land on one of those, and you might want to increase your size or use them for a target if you start to, like one out here, if we start to break out of this zone, maybe my first target wants to be around the POC that's outside of this zone. Or you can imagine, because you have these two here, you can now play this as a zone as well. Okay, so as it starts to move up and into this area, if I've got a double cross with something in the way, remember with a double cross double move, if it's out in the open, yes, we want to take it as a double cross double move, DCDM. If it is crowded, doing air quotes here, crowded, meaning something else is around it, then I want to take it as a reversal. Oftentimes something that plays up in here, like an Enigma, another good spot where red Enigma shows up in this area if price comes up into it, and we hit this POC. Then what do? Same thing. Boom. Target down inside. Now you got a bigger target. Why? Because the width of this is larger, and now your center is the center of the middle of the POCs. You guys following this? Is this too much? Again, he asked a lot of questions in one. I'm trying to answer it. There's a lot there that he's unpacking here, but same principle should apply if we're targeting middles and stuff. You really just want to take our entries, but big picture time frames, you want to know some of that. Okay.
Press the like button, share, subscribe, and comment below with your thoughts and what you've learned.
Watch this next video.